Yeah, welcome back. Awesome action best friends, Bob Doctor, and our special guest.
Generally irritable. Erica Reddick.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Gonna rock and roll today.
Yo, that intro is live.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Whoever did that beat is talented.
That's my bro. President.
Super dope. Who was
Super
it?
dope. All right. So we're messing around right now, but we're getting ready to get into it. You know what it is.
Guys.
Tell them what we're gonna talk about.
We're gonna be talking about Fast 10. Is that what it's called?
Fast X.
Fast X. Oh, it's not 10 like the Roman numeral 10. It's Fast X. That's how you read that.
I don't know how you're supposed to read it.
Fast
it's Vin
10,
Diesel.
Fast X.
It's Vin Diesel. It's Iron Group. I don't know what he wanted us to do.
Another Fast and Furious movie.
Another.
How these people are still alive is beyond me at this point. And we're going to talk about that, actually, as part of our conversation. Yeah. People still being alive. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try not to spoil it. It's a brand new movie. So I'm going to do what I can to not absolutely spoil it. So we're going to dance with some things.
Why are you... Fine.
Because if people watch your review and you spoil the entire movie, that doesn't let them know if they should watch the movie.
Fine, whatever.
Can we hear that? I don't even know if that's coming through.
Can people hear the air conditioner? You want me to turn it off?
Let's turn it off.
Okay.
Let's just be on the safe side. We got new microphones, just to let you guys know we're in our other studio. We can't see it, but we've done a lot of work in here to try to set this thing up so we can get you more content more frequently. Fast action. Kind of like Fast X, right? Kind of like that. It's ridiculous. Our new studio has cables everywhere. It's too much power. It's ridiculous. And it's moving at high speeds. It's kind of like the entire Fast and the Furious franchise. Way too much. Just too much going on.
I mean, that is the theme of the movie. If you can imagine that a movie that it was already so ridiculously unbelievable, where you have to suspend so much reality,
a lot of reality,
that it's basically like a fantasy movie.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
it's beyond a fantasy movie.
Okay. Let's say the last Fast and the Furiouses were on a scale of 1 to 10 at like a 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even like 8, 9, right? Okay. Fast X is like 82.
It's not that much worse than the other ones.
I mean,
you are not accurately remembering the other Fast and the Furiouses. They were not reasonable films.
It is equally as unreasonable times 3. Moving on. What?
So, I muted myself. It's a new microphone from Mauno, however you say it. PD400X, I believe. It's kind of dope. We're playing with some new things in the studio, you know.
Yep.
So I accidentally muted myself touching my microphone, so that's what just happened right there.
For real? You can do that? Just touching it?
It's a touch screen type joint on here. Yeah. Anyways, so yes, let's get into the movie. The plot. Let's just talk about the plot in general. So essentially, what has happened is that Jason Momoa has joined the cast. Okay, Aquaman is here, and essentially, he's a gay Aquaman.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that like to be facetious. It's his main character thing. He's got like painted nails and he's very
doing his hair.
Basically, this dude. What happened was Jason Momoa got drunk. Nope. He got drunk and he watched an entire marathon of Pirates of the Caribbean. And he was, you know what? Jack Sparrow. I'm a big Johnny Depp fan.
How can I channel Jack Sparrow?
I'm gonna kick that up to the max, but also be a villain. He's kind of like
trying to maintain my masculinity.
Kind of. He kind of tried to do that because he's Jason Momoa, so it's Jason Momoa. But he's definitely playing it up.
It was weird. It just was weird. I don't know if it's like gay bait, if that's what people call gay baiting, or what. It just was. It didn't feel authentic. It was very weird. His character was very weird.
It was a bit forced. It was like he was trying to be James Bond. They had Silver. And Silver was like charismatic and a little bit. You're like, I don't really know what's going on with this dude. Jason Momoa's character was like, I'm trying to be gay for effect. So it was interesting because he's Jason Momoa. And the thing is, when you see him in the flashbacks of those stories, he doesn't seem to look like that. So seeing him in the present day
especially being from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, which is not known for being gay friendly.
I have no idea.
No,
it's Brazil.
Not.
I don't know.
No, it is not friendly to homosexuals. So him behaving that way is extra weird. Oh yeah. You looking it up right now.
Yep. Anyways, doesn't matter. The point is, that's who Jason Momoa is playing in this movie. And there's some times where it's fun. There's some times where it's entertaining, but it's just weird because it's Jason Momoa. So it just doesn't really work as well as he might have wanted it to work.
You know what doesn't really work? Most of the acting. Most of the acting, generally speaking, is terrible. Wait, we were talking about the plot. Sorry.
No, but the general, so the plot, we'll get to that in a minute. So the plot, generally, he's coming back. It's a revenge movie like every other Fast and the Furious. You did this thing to me. I'm going to pop back up, try to murder you.
My father.
And so, like, he's coming, he's up there, he's trying to murder the dudes. He's going to attack, family's the main thing that happens in Fast and the Furious. So he's coming after the family of Dom. Once again, we're seeing that. And it's an interesting little tale. So it's like a reunion for a bunch of characters. It's okay. The plot is okay. The plot is Fast and the Furious. So we're not gonna like
coming after my family.
Family. Faith.
Family's everything.
Family.
And here's like faith. Speaking of family, hold on. Here's the deal, okay? Speaking of family, right? He's got a son, and now he's with Letty, and he's like, oh, when are we gonna have a baby? And she's like, oh, when God says it's time, or something like that. And then they go out, and they have high-speed chases, and she almost dies a bunch of times, and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, just in case you guys are wondering why you're not having a baby, it might be all that adrenaline. I'm just saying,
adrenaline is
not
good.
A doctor.
The adrenaline is how you make babies.
Oh,
it's science.
Oh my God. There was so much that was stupid about this movie. Moving on.
Actually, I know nothing about how babies are made, but I would think that high-speed chases and gunfights would be conducive to the proper secretion of hormones necessary to bring a child into this world.
No. Let me tell you what is not good for the production of a baby. A bunch of stress hormones. That is actually how you ensure that you will not get pregnant.
What if you like gunfights and high-speed chases?
It doesn't matter. Biology is biology. That's a big thing for me.
Nope. We're gonna have to confer with the scientists on that one. Someone call Fauci up. Get Fauci and Bhattacharya on the line.
I am an accountant, not a biologist, but
we're gonna have to verify that.
I do know one or two things. I know two things.
The point is, it's a very simple plot. Okay, Like, I'm not going to get into the details. It's okay. It's an excuse for a bunch of action. Now, what's hilarious at some points is the acting. Okay.
It is so bad. It is so bad.
Please go in. Who did you have specific issues with?
Okay, so Tyrese and Ludacris are great. First of all, Tyrese and Ludacris, and who's the chick, the tech chick?
Yeah, no, I don't remember
whatever her name is. Anyway, they're great. Their interactions are all great. Their acting is great. Their scenes are great. For the record, that felt like actual acting. Everybody else, the lines were so cheesy.
Natalie Emmanuel Ramsey is what her name is. She's Ramsey.
Okay, Ramsey is her character name, but her real name is Natalie. Oh my God, the writing for like Vin Diesel, and the the leader, the cop guy who of the agency or whatever. Oh my God,
Ritchson.
All their writing was
Alan Ritchson plays Ames.
It was the worst writing, and the acting was so bad to go along with it. I mean, it was epically bad. But here's the worst part, you guys, okay? Anybody that knows me knows I'm a crier, okay? As much as I like joke and am whatever, I'm so tenderhearted. And so if there is a touching scene in a commercial, I will cry, right? So I'm sitting there at the same time laughing hysterically, having to like tuck my face to not ruin the movie for everybody in the theater. While also crying, because they're totally pulling on the heartstrings. Okay? A lot of heartstring pulls.
Okay.
So I'm crying, but then also laughing because the writing is so epically bad.
I mean, I didn't cry at all.
Is so bad.
I didn't cry at all.
You're a man.
No, there's very few things in that would even try to get me close to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember who had particularly bad lines. Yes, Alan Ritchson was really overacting in the beginning. Ames, he was doing way too much in the beginning. I was like, this is so cheesy. And him and Brie Larson's having their dialogue was just very, very awkward. Brie Larson is playing Brie Larson. I don't know how she keeps playing the same person. She's the same lady, essentially, in this movie. She's in every other movie, which is impressive. I kind of wish, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm now jealous. I want someone to pay me to play the same dude in every movie.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. She just bugs me. She just bugs me. And I'm not believing it. She just... first of all, she isn't even filling out the suit she's wearing. I'm supposed to believe she's some tough agent, nobody, whatever, and she's going to fight people. That broad isn't even filling out the suit that she's wearing. She's so skinny. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it.
You don't believe it?
No.
You're not a Brie Larson fan?
Not for 1 second. Am I believing that she's some kind of an action hero? And then she gets up and she's like, boom. And for 1 second, and then she gets, God, shoot the guy.
Wow.
You told me not to have spoilers, so it's hard.
Wow. That's impressive. That's a lot of feelings. So here's what I find to be interesting while watching this is like how many people in this video are superheroes. This is just a side note, but I started thinking about it and thinking about how many of these characters are some other character, right? So you have Brie Larson, and we know Brie Larson is Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Who is also Brie Larson, she's Captain Marvel, and you have Aquaman, obviously.
Yep.
as Jason Momoa, right?
Yep.
You have Vin Diesel, who is both Groot and Bloodshot. He's two different
Yep.
comic book characters. I don't think Riddick was a comic book character. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So Jason Momoa, blah blah. You have Alan Ritchie, okay, Alan Richardson, who is Hank Hall on Titans. So he's a DC character, and he's also Jack Reacher. Who else is there? So it's Alan. Who else we got? We got Brie Larson. We already went through her.
Oh, well, I mean, you got Atomic Blonde is
no, but she's not a comic book character.
I understand, but she's also in that dystopian one where she's missing an arm.
That's not a comic book character. That's Mad Max.
I'm just saying, like,
no, it's not. It's not curious that people
all these action.
It doesn't.
Movies.
That's
okay.
Nope. That's what they do.
Go ahead.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's in a bunch of action movies.
Whatever.
That's not unreasonable. You don't like him. It doesn't matter. You just don't like them because you don't like the people. But the point that I'm making is that they're all comic book characters. They're comic book heroes. So she's Clea, a sorceress in the end of Doctor Strange. That is Charlize Theron. So she's in Marvel. Then you have John Cena, and John Cena is Peacekeeper. DC. Yep. He's Peacekeeper.
Yep.
Then you have The Rock at the very end of the movie. And The Rock is
a bunch of stuff. Wasn't he like in The Mummy or something? And like
no. He was, but that doesn't count. He's specifically
Black Adam.
He's Black Adam. So he's Black Adam, and then Helen Mirren. Was I mistaken? Wasn't she in the most recent
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Was she in the most recent one? The most recent Shazam.
She's in something.
I thought she was in. Yep, she's in Shazam, Fury of the Gods. DC.
Oh right.
Yep.
She was one of the gods.
She was the dope one.
The lead person.
And I bet if I go through the other ones enough, I could figure them out. But that's like,
good golly.
It's just a bunch of Marvel people. And so you're just getting tired of seeing these faces. I think that's what's happening with a lot of these movies. You're just getting tired of seeing these people.
Yeah.
And you mean Jason Momoa is not that different in Aquaman.
And they're like, this movie, everyone is fighting, and they're basically like superheroes. They're getting into car accidents and fights and things that as if they were superheroes, superhuman, super strength, super healing, whatever. And it's stupid.
Also, one thing I noticed in this movie, a lot of people get killed. I'm talking about shot in the face, stabbed, thrown off buildings. And I'm trying to remember in the previous Fast and the Furious, did they murder a bunch of people? Because they kill a lot of people in this movie.
I don't remember.
But there's a bunch of action. I will say that much. As far as the plot's concerned, it's okay. The acting, pretty much weak on everyone's part, besides Ludacris, Natalie Emanuel, and Tyrese. Pete Davidson, actually, he's pretty funny in this. He does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And Charlize Theron can act. She does a good job with her parts of acting. You know what it felt like? It feels like the experienced actors maybe got a script and it was maybe on draft 2 and needed to be on draft 3 or 4. They were like, you know what? I'm just going to change the lines so that they sound good. And the other people were like, I'm an okay actor. I'm just going to say what they wrote and try to make it feel right. And I think that was the difference. If I had to guess, that's what it felt like. I think so. But
I think it was also that a lot of like Vin Diesel's lines and interactions and stuff were meant to be, very epic and emotional and, like really bring people in. And he is not that dude. Okay. Like you want, you're trying to get, Arnold Schwarzenegger to read Shakespeare and have an experience. Like it's just
got to just say, I'll be back and get to the chopper.
We don't need you to say stuff. Okay. We just want you to do the action and be pretty.
You're saying Vin Diesel's pretty? I'm looking at a picture of him right now. Are you sure that's your
I'm
final
saying,
answer?
like, I personally am not attracted to him, but the point, he's got the chiseled features and the
He does.
muscles, and right, like that's what
I mean,
people
he's
want
big.
to
He doesn't
see.
look chiseled, but okay, go for it.
You
All right,
get
well,
what I'm saying. People are not watching Vin Diesel for his acting abilities, okay? They're watching Vin Diesel
That's not
for
true.
the action, the
That's not true.
cars, and the
I am.
muscles.
That's not true. I beg to differ. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Okay, you just proved my point. Thank you.
I think I proved my point.
Yes, dear.
All right. So also, one thing I was surprised by that I forgot is that Charlize Theron is very big compared to Michelle Rodriguez,
She's much taller.
as is Brie Larson also, apparently. Well, she had heels on, so maybe it's a little different.
Letty is a small person. Michelle Rodriguez is a very small person.
Yeah, I mean, they make her out to be like. Also, why is she so good at fighting? I don't understand. Like,
all of a sudden, she's like, I don't remember.
No, not all of
in
a
the
sudden.
early movies. Being
Oh yeah, she did. She fought Gina Carano. She fought. Didn't she? She fought Ronda Rousey.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she's been fighting
I
all the
don't
time, but
remember.
like they don't explain why she's that good. I mean, she's fighting like agents off hand to hand.
Well, I mean, if she's fighting Gina Carano and freaking Ronda Rousey, there you go.
But I mean,
Years of,
why?
like,
You're just a street racer and a barrio kid. How'd you get all those skills? That's
I
what
guess
I
you're
saw somebody.
freaking
I saw somebody
fighting.
talking about Tej, Ludacris's character, and they were like, "Why does man have all these skills all of a sudden? He went from being a racer dude to a tech genius Wing Chun master in like 2 movies." It's like,
Yeah.
how did you get that good?
Because
Nobody
everything
cares.
about Fast and Furious is that they just can do whatever there is to do that the movie needs them to do.
It's mission ridiculous.
It is, yes.
It is mission crack possible. Let me explain. Meth possible, to be more exact. Why? Because there are things you can do when you are magnified by methamphetamines that you cannot do when you were a normal human. That is what this movie is. Mission meth possible.
You are ridiculous.
And it just,
You are
it's like how,
ridiculous.
and it's like how Tom Cruise just like ups the ante in every movie of Mission Impossible. Well, Fast and Furious does that. Plus, Vin Diesel gives himself more poignant lines at the same time. So you get more of Dom talking and saying wild stuff, more of everyone doing wild stuff. It's amazing.
And it literally is impossible, right? It's, it's not just Mission Impossible. It's actually impossible, but they just don't care.
They don't believe in physics. If you have the power of family and faith in the family, you can do anything.
I will say, I did appreciate how much the cross was brought out and put on prominent display because, I love Jesus. I love me some Jesus. And
Got
so
it, Team JC. Got it.
Very, very highly
JC quotient. Got it.
prominent in the movie. So I'm gonna give high points for that. But
They don't say his name, they just show a cross.
but like, yo, man, like physics are still a thing. Like God did create the laws of the universe. And
Well, I will say a couple of the redonkulous moments that really stood out to me. Let's see.
Are we going to be able to talk about that?
We're gonna not talk about
Without
it in
spoiling
detail.
it?
I'm trying to see which ones I can say without telling the story. So Brie Larson is awkward. We know that.
And let it fly.
I can't even explain it. All I'll say is he outdoes the Letty flying off of a thing, him jumping across, catching her and slamming into a car. He outdoes that stunt this time. It makes no sense. And you would have to be a psychopath to do the things that he's trying to do in this movie.
It's not a thing. Most of what happened in this movie. It's like you go, nobody would do that. That is not possible. And these confluence of events, did I even say that word correctly? See, I am so confounded by how absolutely ridiculous this movie was. That I can't even use the English language correctly.
That's impressive. He does lift a car with one hand. It's on its side, and he like flips. He's doing something else, and Vin Diesel like lifts a car and flips it back over. And I'm like, I don't think you can do that. But he's Vin Diesel, so he gets to do whatever he wants in his movie, right? He's got to outdo Captain America some way. He needs his Captain America moment. He dropped, somehow his vehicle just defies all physics. Like if you drop it out of a thing, it can be swan diving towards the pavement and somehow will just like flatten out and just go. Like he dropped it out of a plane.
You know, here's the...
No, I want to, this is the one part I'm going to somewhat spoil. He's in a plane. He needs to get down to the ground.
Are in the trailer.
So he's trying to get down to the ground. They don't have time to drop the plane to land. He's like, who says he's
landing?
They just drop his car out of a plane.
While the plane is moving
while it's
at
planing,
full speed.
It is planing at full tilt. He just drops it down.
Just onto some other cars.
And he smashes these cars to bits and just keeps driving.
Just driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a hard time in the movie not disturbing the other patrons because I was watching it. Because mind you, we just watched Sisu. And Sisu was a lot, right? This movie was so far beyond what Sisu's wildness was putting out here.
I was laughing so hard. I felt bad for the people sitting next to me. I kept having to turn and tuck and laugh hysterically because the stunts were so ridiculous.
Vin Diesel turned his car into a Ghost Rider steed. If you know anything about that.
So you're trying to tell me that a car that has grappling hooks in it, and again, this is in the trailer, so I feel like it's okay to say it, two helicopters with grappling hooks in the car can't just pick it up.
Nope.
And he somehow manages to smash them together and then like use them like they're I don't even know what to compare
ball and
them
chain.
to.
He's swinging them around like a flail. He's Vin Diesel. He's Vin Diesel.
Here's why I'm annoyed.
Because Vin Diesel defies the laws of all physics?
Because it's so stupid that it makes it a mockery. Right? Like, it's so over the top, absolutely ridiculously impossible that it becomes a joke. And then I can't just enjoy the movie, right? Like Mission Impossible is ridiculous and outrageous, but at least usually they still try to do like, oh, this is like skydiving or this is like whatever. Like I'm sorry, but the helicopter stunt.
No, that wasn't. I mean, Dom was already. I mean, this dude's like hitting posts off a thing to shield bystanders from fire. He's hitting equipment to hit another thing to slam into this thing at just the right angle and trajectory. I'm like, I didn't know he was that good. Like, there is a difference between you can drive a car real good and fast, and there was a I don't remember the character. Put in the comments if you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a character, there's like Max Steel or something, and he could like see the probability of the angles and stuff like Cyclops. He could see numbers of physics.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel
Like Sherlock
can
Holmes
do
or
this when
whatever.
he's inside of a car.
Oh my God.
It is amazing. It makes no sense at all. But I love it.
He's gonna be even better than me.
Yeah, they're setting that up hard. Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel. And I think that's what we need to just all learn to accept. Mind you, this is a two-parter. So this is not the
it's definitely just to be clear, everybody, this is not the last movie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is a setup for the next movie. So
Correct.
they're 20 years older now, but we're gonna keep on going.
Yeah.
Oh, also, nobody who dies is dead. Just if anybody dies, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
They're not going to die because everybody who
time.
dies comes back in this series of movies.
I don't want to say anything, but towards the end of this movie, there's somebody else that is resurrected from the grave, and it is like, are you joking with me right now? So, I'm not saying any names, but here's what I will say.
No,
as you guys
death
probably
and
know,
destruction mean nothing.
Here's what I will say that you probably do know. So if you look at the cast, I mean, The Rock is in the cast. So apparently, whatever kind of scenario they had going on, whether it was real or fabricated, has gone away, and The Rock is probably going to be in the next movie. Now, here's what I will say: The Rock is who Vin Diesel wants to grow up to be. See, the difference between The Rock and Vin Diesel is that the lines that the Vin Diesel is trying to say, the one-liners when he's trying to be cool, The Rock can say those same lines, but the way he would do it, because he's got that charisma, that it'll be funny, or you will, ooh, that was good. The Rock, I went back and watched the highlights of The Rock's one-liners from the last movies. It's gold, because he is the action guy. Vin Diesel hasn't figured out how to do that yet.
Vin Diesel doesn't deliver one-liners like The Rock does. Vin Diesel does one-liners that are meant to be like
inspirational or something.
Yeah, and like heartfelt.
I mean,
stay in your lane, dude.
Wow, that's amazing. I am Groot. Just don't be like Sisu. Sisu went through a whole movie and didn't talk.
Oh my God.
You felt the emotions. You felt the rage.
That movie
desperation.
Was just a movie for the sake of stunts and murdering people.
It was amazing. Speaking of which, this movie had a bunch of stunts, a lot of action, had good fight scenes. The fight scenes were fun. John Cena, let's just start. John Cena was amazing. He's John Cena, so you expect his fight scenes to be good. He was slamming people through floors. It was wild. He was whooping people's behinds, and it was amazing. Was good.
Stunts were great.
Everybody threw hands in this movie.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened to. I don't think the Asian girl died in the last one that was working with Han. They should bring her back.
She died.
I don't think she died. I don't know who else is not in this movie. When you see it, guys, put in the comments who else you like to see in the next one.
Everyone from all the last movies.
There's a bunch of callbacks.
Everyone.
So there's a bunch of callbacks, a bunch of new people, right? But it was a great movie in the sense that it was full of action and entertaining. It was not a good movie. From the perspective of its plot and actual acting. Is it worth you spending hard $15, $16 to watch this movie?
Absolutely. Yes.
If you got nothing to do on a Saturday, it's worth it seeing it in a theater with the noise and the loudness and all
the
things.
action and
bring some homeboys, drink a strong beer.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not going to make a bunch of sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not giving them any plugs. They ain't helping us out yet. So we're not making any suggestions between flicks or Alamo. at all. I will say Alamo did let us do our film reviews there for one time. So maybe go to Alamo before you go to Flicks.
I was just saying because you said to have a strong beer. So
I'm just saying.
Oh, wait. City Lights.
City Lights is going to start doing it. They're going to have Film Alley, and City Lights is in Georgetown, y'all. It's going to be big. It's going to be big to jump off, okay? You have bowling alley, food, beer. It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Point is, here's the deal, you guys. It is literally, I should be careful with that word, but it is one of the top 5 stupidest movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Up there with what was it? Ninja Cop? Werewolf Cop?
Oh yeah. Okay. Werewolf Cop was good.
It is next level stupid, okay? One of the stupidest movies I have ever seen.
That's impressive.
However, the action is really good. The stunts are really good. You just have to suspend a lot of reality, like Marvel level reality.
No, Marvel has rules.
Yeah, and they're
fantasy
superheroes,
movies have rules.
so it makes sense.
All the other movies we've ever watched, there are rules to the movie. Fast and the Furious.
There are no rules.
No. In the Fast and the Furious, you just have to remember that he is Vin Diesel.
Oh God, whatever that means. I don't even know what does that even
when you
mean?
when you have that VD energy, you can do whatever you want.
I can't.
See, if you were able to go out there, if you could get VD energy as well, you could be like Vinny. But
you are the dumbest person that I know. Oh my God. I cannot believe you just said that. I can't believe I didn't come up with that. I'm upset now.
See, he's Vin Diesel. I'm gonna tell you. So, final rating, I'll probably give it. I mean, for fun, if you're bored, it's still only going to be a 3 out of 5. Okay, because it's not a good movie, but it is a fun summer movie.
Yeah,
it gets back to the cars more than a lot of the other movies did. The cars are a big part in this one, which is fun.
And I really, in all sincerity, there was a lot of talk about family and legacy and faith.
Yeah.
And so as much as I'm making a joke out of that, there really was a lot of heartfelt moments. I really actually did cry like 2 or 3 times. Like, oh, wow.
I think if they killed more people,
and it actually meant something,
and they stayed dead, it would mean more.
Yeah.
But like Han came back, and you're like, how did he come back? He's supposed to be dead. It's the whole thing. Now he's back. He's just hanging out, having a good time, and talking with people, eating peanuts. It takes away from the sacrifices people make when they just come back from the dead. And then all the bad guys turning into good guys starts to get old. It's just like, oh my gosh, everybody can't be redeemed here, okay? We need some bad guys who just want to be bad and they hate you forever. You need that. You need that in your life to be a good hero. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Then again, I'm not sure they're heroes. They seem, from what I can tell, they kill a lot of people. A lot of innocent bystanders, too, in these movies. A lot of people got to go. You just watch the action that sequences and you think about it from like a logical perspective. A lot of people's lives are just gone. They are deleted from existence when the Fast and the Furious team gets involved.
Ooh.
Just saying. Just saying. So any final words or thoughts on this particular film? Nothing. Okay, there you go. Erica's got nothing else left to say. This DC Marvel mashup of a film was entertaining, and we hope you guys have enjoyed it. Go ahead and watch it. It's a fun time.
Definitely.
It's a fun time. You'll enjoy yourself. Mostly, I think your kids can come. There's nothing wild going on in there, so you'll have a good time. It's a fun little movie to watch. I mean, besides the murder, but kids watch murder and death all the time. It's fine. They're fun. They're okay. They're fun.
Was there swearing? There's not.
I think it's relatively clean. I think it might be like PG-13. It's nothing too wild. There's like some butt cheeks in there because they got the girls with the racers. They do that kind of stuff. Are you sure?
Definitely not PG-13.
You sure Fast X is not PG-13?
Pretty violent.
Rating. Let's see what the PG-13. Look at that.
What?
I told you.
Oh God.
I told you.
All right.
So there you go. So boom. Go check out Fast X VD. Keep that in mind when you watch it. VD is what you need. Vin Diesel. Big VD. Bring it on home. And with that, catch you on the next one.